My dad asked me to take him to one last game. I said I was too busy. My dad called me on a Saturday morning and asked if I'd take him to a game. I said I was busy. That was the last time he ever asked me for anything. I remember exactly where I was when the phone rang. Sitting at my desk, coffee going cold, half focused on something that felt important at the time. His name came up on the screen and I answered, but I was already distracted, already somewhere else in my head before he said a word. He asked slowly, carefully, the way he always asked for things, like he was aware he might be imposing. There was a game that afternoon, his team, a stadium about 40 minutes away. He said he hadn't been in a while, said it would be good to get out of the house. He asked if I wanted to go with him. I said I had too much going on. He said, "Okay, no problem." And that was it. No pushback, no guilt trip, just, "Okay, no problem." I hung up and went back to what I was doing. I don't remember what I was doing. My dad was not a man who asked for much. That was the thing about him, the thing I understood too late. He came from a generation that didn't make requests, didn't announce needs, didn't say, "I miss you," or "I want to spend time with you" in plain language. He said it other ways. He said it by calling on Saturday mornings for no particular reason, by mentioning a game was on, by asking if I'd eaten, if I was sleeping okay, if work was going all right. Those weren't small talk questions. Those were the whole conversation. That was him reaching. I knew that somewhere. I just didn't act like I did. There was the summer he learned to use email. He sent, "Testing, is this working? Dad." I replied with one line. He sent 3 paragraphs. He'd been waiting for someone to talk to. I answered the next one a week later. There was Thanksgiving the year my grandmother passed. He sat at the end of the table and didn't say much. After dinner, everyone drifted. Dishes, TV, phones. I walked past him on my way to the kitchen, and he looked up and started to say something. I said, "1 second, Dad." I never went back. I don't know what he was going to say. There was a Sunday he drove 40 minutes to drop off a jacket I'd left at his house months earlier, a jacket I hadn't even noticed was missing. Showed up at my door, handed it over. Said he was in the neighborhood. He was not in the neighborhood. I said thanks and told him I was about to head out. He nodded, drove 40 minutes back home. No one warns you about this. It's not the big moments that stay. It's the small ones. The ones that didn't look like anything when they were happening. The emails you answered late. The questions you walked past. The drives he made that you never thought to make back. The Saturday morning calls you took while you were already somewhere else. Because here's the thing about fathers like mine. They don't ask twice, or once, quietly, and if you're not paying attention, you miss it. And they never tell you that you missed it. They just adjust, recalibrate, ask less next time, until one day they stop asking altogether. And you don't notice that either, not right away. 2 weeks after that phone call, he had a health scare. Nothing sudden, something slow that had been building, the way those things do. He ended up in the hospital for a few days. Tests, monitoring, the whole process. I drove to see him. He was sitting up in the bed when I came in, watching something on the small TV mounted to the wall. He looked older than I expected. Not sick, exactly, just smaller somehow. Like the hospital had adjusted the scale. He smiled when I walked in, said, "You didn't have to come." I said, "I wanted to." We watched TV together for 2 hours, didn't talk much. He fell asleep in the middle of something, and I sat in the chair beside the bed and looked at him and thought about the game. The one I hadn't gone to. I thought about his voice on the phone, careful, asking slowly the way he always did. He hadn't been in a while, said it would be good to get out. He just wanted to go to a game with his son on a Saturday afternoon. That's all it was. He recovered. He's still here. But something shifted after that. In me, not in him. He never mentioned the game, never made me feel it. Just kept calling on Saturday mornings, kept asking if I'd eaten, kept being exactly who he always was. But I started showing up differently. I started calling back before he called me. Started saying yes to things, small things, the kind I used to slide past. Driving him somewhere, sitting with him through a full game on TV, not half watching with my phone in my hand. Asking about his life before I was in it, where he grew up, what he wanted to be, what the early years were like. He had a lot to say. He'd always had a lot to say. I just hadn't been asking. You always think there's more time, until you're sitting in a hospital chair watching your father sleep and counting all the Saturday mornings you didn't go. I thought I had time to fix it. I almost didn't. I want to say this plainly, if you're still listening. If your father is still alive, if he's the kind of man who asks carefully, who calls without a reason, who drives 40 minutes just to drop something off, please don't do what I did. Don't wait until you understand it. You don't need a big moment. You don't need to sit him down and explain yourself. Most of the time, that's not what he wants anyway. Just say yes next time he asks. Take the drive. Watch the game. Sit with him through the whole thing and don't look at your phone. Ask him something you don't know the answer to and stay long enough to hear it. That's all. Because those small yeses, they compound. The same way the small no's did. The Saturday you went, the call you made first, the afternoon you stayed when you could have left. They add up. And someday you'll want to know that when he asked, at least some of the time, you were there. That you said yes. I never apologized for that Saturday. He doesn't know I still think about it. But I stopped saying no. I started showing up. And the next time he asked me to go somewhere, a drive, a game, a Sunday afternoon with nowhere specific to be, I said yes before he finished the sentence. He didn't make a big deal of it. He just smiled, said, "Okay, let's go." If your dad is still asking, go. Don't make him ask twice.